So this week, well, was it yesterday? Yesterday you'll have seen that there was this horrendous plane crash. So in India to London, Gatwick, Boeing Airbus, it took off. I'm sure you've seen the footage, right? It's horrendous. Takes off and doesn't get any lift and it comes down and crashes. But what's absolutely wild is that like a dude walked away. A dude walked away from it. Now, this dude here, right? This dude here, right, was sitting in seat 11 here, which was next to the doors, the escape doors of the plane. There was like 212 people in the plane. There was like 40 odd people in the building. Everybody died. This dude just walked out like this. He walked away, which is incredible. So he's an Indian fella, British national, and he walked away from that. And that's all he had. Some cuts and a limp. How absolutely insane is that? Now, tragically, loads of people lost their lives, right? So I'm not covering that. But with this dude walked away, and it reminded me of the movie Unbreakable. Remember Unbreakable? So this is, I think it's off a comic book, right? It's got Bruce Willis in it and Samuel L. Jackson. And the thing is that on one side of the spectrum, you've got somebody who's so like fragile and femma, who was played by Samuel L. Jackson, where you sneeze and you break a bone and all that kind of jazz. Actually, Betsy there was a lass that lived next to us, wasn't there? In Silky, who was like that. So femma that on the opposite end there must be somebody who's so strong. And if any, going back to MMA stuff, right? Back to MMA stuff. There are stories about this fighter, I can't remember what he's called, but he's got these like really, really tough bones and orbital sockets that people have never ever seen before, like really mega tough. So you've got on one side you've got femma, and on the other side you've got like mega strong. And Unbreakable is about Bruce Willis, who has a train crash. Everybody dies, but he just like walks out of it because he's like unbreakable. And not putting anything down on what's happened, right? Not belittling, obviously, because it's tragic. But this dude has just walked away from that. Now, he's also been out talking already, seeing what happened, and he said that the plane crashed. It was all on fire. He was able just to get out, open the door, and just get out. And for some reason, nobody else was. Totally wild. Totally wild. Glass is about the other dude, and then it got Split as well. Split was the other one as well. Mad story. That somebody it's totally tragic. It doesn't stop anything being tragic, but just wild that somebody was able to walk out with that. Totally fucking mad. Totally mad. Yeah, check this one out, right? Let me just find this one first before I put on. This is fucking mad. Now this is definitely a slip of the tongue. It's got to be a slip of the tongue, right? But listen up, Buttercup. Check this out.
As young Americans across the country get to see all of the amazing things that the Army has done, whether it's helping with floods in North Carolina or wildfires in California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier, including actually going to war and fighting to defend the freedoms that make our nation so great. We think this is going to be an incredible opportunity.
Say what? Say what? Let's come back. Who did you talk to? Who did you talk to, pal?
In California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier.
We talked to a soldier who's on the moon yesterday. Did you? Did you? Because that's wild. Here, that is super mega wild. If you spoke to a soldier on the moon, then that changes everything we know about humanity. Oh, see that Grey? Oh, Grey just hit the light there. Big grey beard. bit greybeard. Oh, it's kind of like me Bluebeard cars, isn't it? Don't know the Bluebeard figure we made on the moon. Fuck off. Oh, yeah, they got soldiers on the moon. They ain't telling us nothing about it. But apparently, there are soldiers on the moon. What are soldiers doing on the moon, everybody? Why do we have soldiers on the moon? Getting old gear one. Bluebeard. I mean old grey. I am getting grey. I'm just gonna roll with it though. But this dude here, right, Dan Driscoll, who's the US Army Secretary, that's who he is, right? And I ain't just seeing that shit. There you go, you can see it here. It's underneath the, can you see there? US Army Secretary said, I just spoke to one of the moon soldiers we got. Like, what the fuck? Now, I assume he's just excited being on telly, like I would be. I mean, imagine if you put me on the telly. First of all, I'd definitely have to have a few whiskies before I'd go on, like just to calm the nerves. And then I'd just see whatever the hell I wanted. I not being mean or nasty, I'd just see whatever came in. Oh, the moon soldiers. We got the moon soldiers. Maybe he's just excited. But if not, we've got some soldiers on the moon, by the way. Don't know what they're doing there, but we got them. We got them. Now, I watched this last night, right? And I enjoyed it. It is Liver King Untold. Has anybody... Kaz, I think you were watching this today. Has anybody watched this? What are the Yanks not telling us? Moonbase Alpha. Mate, really? We can't get the first moon landing right, and now we have soldiers on the moon. But Elon Musk has fired so many rockets up and still can't get the moon. Here, the moon, man. The moon's wild. The wild. What do you think of this? So, Bertie, did you watch this one? Have you watched this documentary, though? Kaz, I think you were watching it today, weren't you? The Liver King Untold. Untold is a Netflix series of stories about particular kind of sports people and that. I watched this last night, and I'll be honest, I really liked it. So it takes you from... I'm not spoiling it, right? I'm not spoiling anything, but it's like the life cycle of the Liver King. So it starts off with him and what he was doing initially. Then he gets involved with like a media company, marketing, and then there's behind the scenes footage. Gets him huge, massive fan base, as you know. And then obviously it all and you know the story, right? It all comes out that he's on steroids, and it's good. It's a really it's a 1 hour 8 minutes, and it's really good show. Now I was well aware of the Liver King, but I wasn't I think I might have followed him. Maybe he's on Insta, but I didn't really consume his content as much. I'd seen him definitely saw him on being talked about on Joe Rogan and on more Place More Dates. I saw all of that, and I saw everybody saying that, oh, you know what, he's definitely obviously on steroids. I saw all that, but this is the first time I've seen his actual content, and his content was wild. He was wild. I mean, he works hard. Even on roids, right? You've got to work hell. You can't just take roids and get big. That's not what roids do. You've got to work out really, really hard. But this dude, man, the amount of balls he was eating was crazy. Him and he had his family eating raw balls. Totally eating raw balls, which is mental, absolutely mental. And yet it shows you pictures of him. Kaz, have you seen this bit where he's got 2 young sons and they're just tucking into raw bull balls? That's that is extreme, man. That is really, really extreme. And then there's this kind of arc where he's back to being kind of normal and all that, and he's forgiven and all that. But I really enjoyed it, right? It's on Netflix. Now round with eating balls, says Kaz. Well, now that Boss T's back with his fresh do, I'm sure that after a few Modelo's and some squirt, you'll be doing some Liver King action. It's me, Boss T. I'll be enjoying that. Raw balls are bitter. Raw balls are bitter or better. Lamb ones are in any case. I've never ever touched a ball, thankfully. This one, right? This one cuts deep. So this is a video which is at the actual summit of Mount Everest, and somebody's got like a big what do you call it? Selfie stick. And this is at the top of the world. Now, in a world where we've seen just so much like AI and like fucking UFOs and like weird shit, which I always post. This one just feels a little bit more like kind of like, oh yeah, man, that's cool, because it's literally the top of the world, which is crazy. Check this out, mate. Check this out. Let me just cut the music. This is literally at the top of the world. Let me just make sure I got that. I need to get one of them stream decks where I press a button and I can do all this stuff without having to click. That is literally the top of the whole world. There's no highest point. How wild is that? To do that and go there. I don't know, it kind of like, I mean, it's just windy, right? So, it's just windy noises. I'll take the noise off. It just feels like a proper, obviously it's an accomplishment for the people who do it, but even just as an observer, it's just mad. Absolutely, that's the top of the entire world. And like I say, in a world where now, like, I'm already fatigued with like the Yeti AI videos and the stormtroopers. Like, right, yeah, we get it. Right, that was a good week. But in a week where AI has took over, it's kind of like, geez, oh, look at this, man. The absolute top of the world. Loads of dead on the Snake Mountain. There's loads of dead. In fact, some of them, some of the dead bodies on Everest are like markers for how far you've gone. There's somebody, I don't know if it's called the orange boots person. There's a particular one where they've been there for like 20 years with orange boots.
Wait, so there's now speculation that Bonnie Blue was actually a man, someone called Carl Butler, and born in 1985. I'm not sure if this is real, but it's going viral. Kyle Butler had to change when he was 13 and then became Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue. And all them men that enjoyed Kyle Butler, eh? Kyle Butler. Damn.
So then, just imagine that, right? Could be true, could be false, right? Probably's false. But just imagine that, right? So the story here, that's got 3.8 million views, by the way, right? And apparently that is not the person who posted it. That's somebody who's posted it on X. Imagine if Bonnie Blue had turned out to be, or turns out not to be Bonnie Blue, right? Turns out to be Kyle Butler, a lad who transitioned at the age of 13. Ronnie Blue. I write that down. Ronnie Blue. I'd wrote down Bonnie Butler. But Ronnie Blue is good, man. Matt, I like it. Imagine that, right? So we done a Bonnie Blue one about 2 weeks ago, I think. I'm sure we done Bonnie Blue 2 weeks. Well, fucking 1,000 people's done a Bonnie Blue, but I'm sure we did it as a segment a couple of weeks back when Bonnie Blue had been arrested. Imagine if Bonnie Blue was actually Ronnie Butler, and there's 1,000 lads have ran it up. Like, wow. Wow, what a thing. And like, you know what, like, there's no victims in any of that. Like, you want to get yourself involved and all that, then yeah, you've been doing Ronnie Butler. But I tell you what, true or false, there's 1,000 dudes who are thinking, oh fuck, Without, because this is big. This is like viral. I'll post it as well. Actually, I'll do a post on it. Might as well get involved there. Get involved. But imagine that. Betty, how would you feel, right? You've been in the queue. You've been waiting this queue all day long, right? They're giving you a bottle of water every hour. You get like maybe it's after 2 or 3 hours in the queue for Bonnie Blue. They give you like a Tesco meal deal. You get a sandwich. You'll get a packet of crisps or pepperami. I would go pepperami over crisps actually for the additional thing, and a bottle of water. You've been there all day long. You're number 999 and you run through Bonnie Blue, and then you get home and it's on the internet that, oh no, this is a lad called Ronnie Butler. Bates, how do you feel? What's your immediate thoughts, Bates? Let us know, Bates. In 10 or 15 words, right? Not to give massive, huge manuscript. Wild. That would be wild. Bonnie Blue. Right then. Tell you what, this is wild. This is the impossible jump. This is genuinely, absolutely mental. Mental. Chicken Oriental. Is that, I don't know, that's not racist, is it? Oh, look! See where that's from? Men Said Clips. I've got 1 follower. So, I'm not doing the clips anymore on I think the sharing clips on my Men Said account, which served me very, very well for a long, long time, is now totally crippling us. Because on X, my reach is like 0. So I'm really stripping back. So I'm putting all the crazy clips that I'll use for this and for other stuff on here. Men Said Clips. I have 1 follower, and that 1 follower is me, by the way. So if you want to see the clips, if you want to get them, they're on them, Men Said Clips. Check this out though, right? This is the impossible jump. Impossible. Let's see, can I get any bigger? I pressing some. Oh. I hear pressing things to see whether. No. Oh, here we go. This is a bit bigger. Sorry, I know you're watching this a number of times there. Right, here we go. Watch this. The impossible jump. Oh. Yes. Just watch that a couple of times. Oh. Yes. How? How absolutely fucking wild is that? But it ain't real. It ain't fucking real. Well, it's kind of half real, right? It's half real because after that's pumped out like 100 million views or whatever it has, not mine. Mine's done like 20 views because it's an account with no followers. Check this out though. I'm gonna get tested here. I'm gonna really get tested here. Watch this shit. So hide that. Seeing this, it's not real. No, well, it is. It's half real. So it is real, but all the bottom is not. So watch this. So that's the before. That's after. But this is the before. So it's still crazy. But obviously he's just jumping into a big lake. Which is wild. It's wild. But it ain't real. Now, I'm telling you that because... hang on, let me just get rid of that one. I'm telling you that because, honest to God, we're now at the point, right? Cheated. Well, we're now at the point where we cannot believe anything that you see anymore. Honest to God, we cannot believe anything ever again on bloody screens. And what does that mean? I'm seriously, right? You know, I'm always a bit of a dick and I'm gonna laugh and whatever, right? But seriously, what does it mean when you can't believe a single thing on screen? Over the last 2 weeks, we've covered quite a lot on AI and on like VO3 and all that. And I've got another one on here, right? It's like you cannot tell at all now. It's gone. Even, do you know, there's a thing called the uncanny valley, which is where something just feels a bit off. That's gone. You cannot tell if people are using it in the right way, like that one, like where it's like, whoa, that's wild, but oh, actually it is wild, but not as wild as that you suggested. It is now impossible to tell. So now, do you know what it says? Basically, do you know what? Right, you're touching on a really, really valid point. It's now worse than the USA and UK news. Now you can't even believe the news at all. So when you could never believe the news of what they said, the thing I always thought was right with the news is that even like BBC and I'm getting political, not really. Even with like Sky News or BBC or ITV in the UK, right? These are kind of like controlled media by like the globalists, right? They lie about the narrative, but they have to present the facts about the event. So, 10,000 people have done this. 8 people have done that. The reason, lies. But here's the pictures. Now, if they can control the pictures and the story, you're in proper bloody 1984 George Orwell level. Honest to God, it's not even worth watching anything on screens anymore because it's all bollocks. Whilst using AI, right? Jeez, this is fucking class. This is really old. Well, not really old. This is about like about 5 months old, I think. And it's a wild blooper, TV blooper. They're still happening, you know. They're still happening. Can you believe that? People still make mistakes on TV. This one is fucking class. Let me just get the sound on. It's on Men's Clips. Men's Clips. Give Men's Clips a follow, right? This is where I'm putting all my clip stuff out. On Men's Said on X, I'm just going to be posting like my thoughts. I'm not going to repost anything. I'm just going to be genuine, brand new content on Men's Said. And on Men's Said Clips is going to be all this crazy wild stuff. Listen to this. I love a blooper, man. Because you can't take it back.
Breakfast products, cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, get up early in the AM, right, for this one. Cinnamon toast. What?
Hormel is partnering with General Mills breakfast products, cinnamon toast crunch.
Sanitized. It's a family show. Flavor is hand-rubbed into the slabs of the thick cut bacon. He's not going to be able to make it. The Black Label Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bacon will be available at Walmart. Yep.
Matt, you interested? Yeah.
This. I tell you, we've not done Greta. Right? Here we go. Did you see?
They did an illegal act by kidnapping us on international waters and against our. They did an illegal act by kidnapping us on international waters and against our will, bringing us to Israel, keeping us in the bottom of the boat, not letting us getting out, and so on. But that is not the real story here. The real story is that there is a genocide going on in Gaza and a systematic starvation following the siege and blockade now, which is.
So yeah, so the done this awful hatred thing by stopping Greta Thunberg, right, and her Instagram warriors delivering a handful of sandwiches, which apparently they'd ate by the time they got there, right? Getting into Gaza to deliver some symbolic sandwiches, right? And this was illegal. You know what? They grabbed her in international water, right? They give her something that's at them feeding. Look at her little stupid face. They put her on within 24 hours. She was on a plane back to Sweden. What a little bellend this lass is, right? So like, remember, she's the "you stole my dreams" and all that, right? And at the time, right, she was probably like very like, because she wasn't corrupt. And this might I don't know, this might go way against stuff, right? But I do believe that she started off as a child with a dream, like naive and corrupt by the left, and she's turned into an Instagram person who just really cares about her own profile. And this thing here was a bit of an Instagram attempt, I believe, that because there was a boat and they only had a handful of sandwiches, which they ate on the way over. Right? It was symbolic though. Apparently, they got grabbed. Right? They got grabbed by the Israelis. I said, "I fucking what you doing?" But that's not even the best bit. You think that's good? That ain't the best bit, because the best bit, the best bit is this. Fucking jeez, right? Tell you what is the best bit. Uri Geller. My portion of yesterday and today's article below. Hey Greta Thunberg, you won't get to Gaza on your fake protest. I will use my psychic powers to mess with your boat. For a climate activist, it's funny how you don't mind belching out shit into the sea and air with your travel and all that. Uri Geller is chipped in, and Uri Geller's basically said, right, that the reason why you didn't get to Gaza, right, was because I used my psychic powers to disrupt your navigational systems. And that is how the Israelis were able to capture you. Now, what an event. Greta Thunberg versus Uri Geller in a proper face-off. I've put that in my thumbnail, actually, for the YouTube channel. And with that, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move on to UFOs, because I fucking love UFOs. What a subject. What a subject. Oh, and this one is bang on. Right, here we go. So. Right, hang on. This does have audio. Now, you might be familiar, right, with, or you might not. But of... Put the Batman music on. Oh, there's always been this phenomena, right, in sightings of silver orbs. That's been going on for years and years and years. Over the last 10 or 15 years, right, they've been captured from like surveillance things. There was a really good one in Afghanistan about 10 years ago, which now you can't believe nothing, right? So you kind of believe this because it's now, but there's a really good one of like 10 years ago where it's like going over this like Afghan camp and they track it. And there's a few of them have been apparently caught and grabbed and all that. This looks so good. But in a world where you can't believe in anything, it's like, what? So here's apparently, and these orbs have been seen all over, right? There's a one called the Booger Orb. But in the world of AI, it's like, well, 3 years ago, you'd have been like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Today, it's AI. It's cheap AI for £3. It looks so good. It looks so good. And I flip-flop, right? I flip-flop from... How would you track at that? Honest to God, it just does my head in this. So I think that is like the Booger one. That's like you zoom in. And there you have it. And I flip-flop from these being real, not real, aliens, US tech. I flip-flop all over with all of that.